Hey everybody, this is Vaughn Long, an enrolled agent here in the Chesterfield, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia area. Continuing our series on tax issues related to COVID-19, we just did a video on the $1,200 checks that are coming as part of COVID-19. Now I want to go through some of the frequently asked questions I've seen so far and hopefully address some of these ahead of time. Which return does the IRS look at first? If you have filed your 2019 return, they're going to start there. If you haven't, they'll go back to 2018. If you haven't filed either one, you're not getting a check unless you're on Social Security. Those are the three criteria. Social Security, 18 return, 19 return. So make sure if you haven't filed an 18 or 19 return and you're not on Social Security, you need to go and file your 19 return as fast as you can. What's the fastest way to get my money? Direct deposit. And that's going to come back to what's on your 18 or your 19 return. If you have put your checking and a routing number on your return to speed up your refund, you'll also get your check that way. So let's talk about this. Let's say in 18 you did not put that on there, and that's the return. You haven't filed 19 yet. Then you may want to file your 19 return in order to get that refund check through direct deposit. Question, what if I made less money in 19 than I did in 18, but I haven't filed my 19 return yet? Then go file that 19 return. Because on that 18 return, you may get a smaller check because of the income that you had then on your adjusted gross income. But for 19, it would be lower and you'd get the full check. So it's okay. Go ahead and fix that. Now let's flip it the other way. Let's say 18 was smaller in income and you haven't filed 19. Don't file your 19 yet. Get your check, then file 19. The only caveat to that I would say is if you're going to get a big refund in 19, it's worth getting that money sooner than the rebate check. You need to play that out and run the math for yourself. What if I have not filed either 18 or 19 because I had no income? That's okay. Go ahead and file 19 even with a zero income on it to get a return in the system to get the check. An example of that might be a full-time student who didn't have any money and didn't have a reportable income. Then you didn't have to file, but for the rebate check, you would want to. We've talked about Social Security. That was one of them. So if you have Social Security and in a silo, someone just on Social Security doesn't have to file the return, the IRS will know that and still send a check out to someone with Social Security income only who did not file. So they don't have to file a return. This one's a bummer. I made great money in 18 and 19, and based on that, I wouldn't have gotten a check. However, I've now lost my job in 2020 due to COVID-19. What do I do now? You're not getting a check this year. Now, to be fair, what they're going to be doing is also looking at your 2020 return, which won't be filed until next year. So you can get this money next year when you file that if it shows that your income has dropped. But there is no way in that scenario if 18 and 19 are past the income threshold, but you've lost your job now. I'm sorry to be the bearer of the bad news on that one. Is this check going to be considered taxable income on my 2020 return? No. Take the money and run. What if my income is higher in 2020 than my returns for 18 and 19? Will I have to pay this money back? No. Just that's the way they wrote the law. What if I owe IRS on back taxes? Are you going to take this check and apply it to my taxes? No. It's one of the few things that happen. IRS, if you owe them money, will take your refunds. But the way the law is written, they will not be taking this check for your back taxes. Is this a one-time check or will there be more? Right now, this is a one-time check. There would have to be new legislation that is passed to issue future checks like this. Just a one-time check. All right, last question. When can I get my check? This one's going to be a little more difficult to explain. We got to look at history on this. About 10 years ago, we did something similar. And from when the first check went in the mail, it took about 8 weeks for the whole country to get all of the checks. Now, direct deposit will be sooner. So one of the initial dates they've talked about was in early April to start sending these funds out. I'm hearing they're trying to stretch that date out longer for the initial money. So let's talk worst case scenario. Somewhere in April, direct deposit money gets sent out. But they may need until May 1, let's say, to start mailing checks. So based on an 8-week window, what we went through before, you would need all of May and all of June before the first person got their check in the country to the last person getting their check. That's if we start May 1. So just have in mind, whenever the checks start going out, plan 8 weeks from beginning to end. Thanks, everybody. Please check out localtogetherstronger.com. because together we are stronger. And please support your local small business during these challenges. Thanks, everybody. Take care.